Good afternoon. Я вас вітаю, shalom and welcome. Welcome to today's live stream. My name is Alina Miropolsky, and this is my channel about personal and spiritual growth, about coaching, about decision-making processes, career, relocation, you name it. And today we have a topic about society and about personal anxiety in one short video. I want to talk about it a little bit. Of course, it's a big topic, and books can be written about those topics. Maybe one day I will write those books. Maybe one day I will do bigger live streams talking about society and trends in society and what's happening and how it works. In general, I'm trying to talk more about personal decision making processes and about career, relocation, personal preferences in relationships, if it's romantic relationship or friendship or career or partnership with your business partners, wherever. But today I want to talk a little bit more broadly, more about society. Maybe the closest time when I talked about society, I was talking about crowd pleasing and how problematic it is, how we can lose touch with ourselves, with our true values, with who we are when we are like very much focusing on crowd pleasing. And again, if this is an interesting topic, let me know. I can talk about crowd pleasing and the influence and all those things in other live streams. My apologies for some noise that we may hear from outside, but it's the only time I have today to film it. So I'm filming this video because I want to touch a topic that I know that many people are avoiding because they're afraid to lose clients or popularity or subscribers or whatever. And this is the assassination of Charlie Kirk's murder. And it do you like him or not? It's not the topic we're going to discuss, and I'm not going to say if he's good or bad. And this is like something totally different. I agreed on some things with him, and I disagreed on some things with him. And this is normal. This is normal to have partial agreement with someone, and even more, this is normal to have full disagreement with someone. And violence is not normal reaction to civil conversation with person you disagree with. Celebrating violence is not normal reaction to civilian citizen of your own country being murdered because someone disagreed with his ideas. He was not calling for violence. He was not calling to kill anyone. He was not aggressive person. He agreed to talk to any person with any views, any values, people he absolutely disliked, people he had no agreement on anything with. He was willing to talk to anyone about anything and to have completely opposite ideas. And it's fine. Even if you don't like the guy, if you don't like his ideas, it's also fine. But what we see now in online and also offline, we see people that are expressing sort of, I would say, even sociopathic happiness and celebration of the fact that 31 years old young man, a father of two young children, was murdered during his speech event because someone disagreed with him and decided to take his life. And we can talk about emotions. I saw some people said, okay, I know it's bad to feel, but I felt in a certain way of happiness or something, joy even, when I heard the news that supposed to be like bad, but I didn't feel that way. So first thing is to recognize sometimes we can feel inappropriate feelings that are not coming from our soul, that are not good for our soul, not good for our personality. It's not who we are. And it's good to remind ourselves when we're like happy about a person being murdered, we need to recognize that we have a wrong thought. You can feel the feeling and you can say, okay, I felt about this American civilian that had a speaking event and was murdered. And I felt in certain way that I disapprove of my reaction. That this is the wrong reaction. This is not who I am. This is not how I'm going to react. And I am in charge of my reactions and my emotions. And I recognize when emotion is not who I am, not what are my values, not what is my personality, and not who is like my who I am overall. I'm not a person that celebrates death of other fellow Americans. I'm not a person that celebrates violence. And there is no shame in it that you felt something. The shame is when you're like going with it, when you're allowing this emotion, very low frequency energy emotion, by the way, very not from your higher self, not from universe, not from God, wherever you see it, like spiritually. I'm very influenced by Christianity and Judaism, but I'm probably most likely identify as person that is very close to New Age spirituality. It doesn't matter what spirituality you choose, or maybe you choose non-spirituality. You're an atheist. So think about your personality, about who you are, what kind of person you are, and it will help you not to be dragged to a very sociopathic, dark emotions, reactions, and behaviors that will poison your soul and your personality. So, no matter what you think about Charlie Kirk, it's your personal right. I'm not going to discuss it here. It's very personal for everyone. Again, I'm saying about myself openly. I agreed with some of his ideas, I disagreed with some other ideas, and it's totally fine. And in recent years, we have this very oversimplified idea that we need to agree on everything. And if we don't agree with any on everything, we are enemies and we need to hate each other. And it's fine to be violent. It's fine to wish worst things to person you disagree with. And this is like kind of childish. You know, like a child, when a parent doesn't give them something, child like can yell like, I hate you. And we are like, oh, it's a child, like they are not developed yet to understand like that it's not normal reaction to say I hate you if someone doesn't give you what you want. So in recent years, I think that there was some promotion of this approach. If someone doesn't give you what you want, doesn't agree with you, doesn't repeat your thoughts exactly as their thoughts, it's okay to hate the person, to wish horrible things to happen to this person, and even to be happy and to celebrate when this person is murdered. And this is demoralization of society, very, very disturbing trend that not only like politicians and teachers and sociologists must pay attention to it, but every single person needs to pay attention to themselves, what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And sometimes we can feel things that we need to remind ourselves, not not okay, I felt it and it's not a good feeling. I reject this feeling and I replace it with a neutral feeling. Okay. For example, if you cannot be upset or sad about something that maybe it's the most appropriate reaction, but you don't feel it, it's fine. It's your right. You can be neutral. But to celebrate murder is not okay. And if we catch ourselves on this, we will be better people. And it's important thing to say. That's why I'm saying it, even if someone will unsubscribe because they strongly disagree with it. But please try to consider at least this idea. Also, what I want to talk more about emotions, that when we feel strong emotions, um, taking over us, the first thing we should do, we should stop and identify the emotions. I'm not talking about this particular situation. I'm talking in general about anxiety, about overreaction, about strong emotion overall. And identifying the emotion. is very important thing. When we feel like this anxiety or a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, we can say, okay, what is my emotion? Am I like afraid, lost? Am I like shocked? Am I angry? Am I happy? Anxious? Maybe I am jealous. Maybe I am losing control. What is the emotion I'm feeling? And then we can say, okay, what are 3 other or 5 other ways I can feel? For example, I'm feeling afraid. I can breathe a little bit. I'm still feeling afraid. Okay, I can feel hopeful. I cannot feel calm. I'm very afraid. The emotion that I'm feeling now is not letting me just to feel calm. Okay, we can say, I will choose to feel hopeful. I will, for example, pray I will meditate, or I will make myself feeling hopeful. Or we can think, okay, I'm very scared, I'm very stressed. What can I do? I can do 3 things that will make me feel safer. And you can think about those things. If you're upset, you can try to feel, first of all, identify, is it okay to be upset in this situation? Is this not overreaction, or is it appropriate reaction? I remember a case when I worked many years ago in medical field, and let's say one of our clients, we expected that the client will have a big surgery and a serious disease, and basically it was profitable for a person I was talking to. And after tests, we learned that the patient is not sick and doesn't need the surgery. And I was happy for the patient. Um, and when I told it to a person that was financially somehow had financial interest in the surgery, I saw sadness, in like disappointment in his eyes. This person is not a bad person, is not a horrible person, and he didn't wish bad for the client, for the patient. We had at that time, it was many years ago. I was my last year in university, I think, and he didn't allow himself any comments on this, and I didn't say anything, of course. But I saw it and I saw that he realized it about himself and felt ashamed. And this is the right reaction in such situation. Like, our patient was a young girl. She was like, I think 19 or something. And at the moment he felt this disappointment and sadness, and at the same time, like seconds later, he realized that this is not appropriate feeling, and he rejected this feeling. He said, I'm glad she's fine. We will do the small procedures that needed to be done back then, and she will be good to go. Thank you for updating me. This is a correct reaction. And still, I was shaken by this moment when I saw that first emotion. But at the same time, I was very young. That's why it had such a big influence on me. Maybe now I will not see it as a big deal, but back then I think it was a big thing for me to witness how the person took control, how fast he realized this his feeling is not okay feeling, and he took control, and he smiled, and he said, this is great, let's do the small procedure and she will be good to go. I wish her all the best, and all the things that are appropriate to say. So yeah, when we feel something, try to find 1, 2, 3, or even more opposite, like different ways you can react and deal with it. And you can feel the emotion and you can change the emotion. The emotion is not forever. You can change it at any moment when you recognize it and you realize that you want to change it. And another thing I want to say is about times of change. We definitely are living in time of change, and you think in 2020, like every year is more complicated, more complex, more unknown, more tension, more uncertainty that we are facing. It's not only in United States. We can see it in South Korea, in New Zealand, in I don't know, Great Britain, in all over the world. I'm trying to find like to think about countries that are far, far away from us. So we can see it everywhere. Everywhere things are shifting. And in Crayon books, I remember I read it many, many years ago that he said that like there will be big shifts in society and big changes in society, and lots of transformation, lots of awareness, and some tension, and maybe work conflicts and conflicts in society, and we all are witnessing this now. But let's remember that where the society goes, it's a choice of people in the society. We all decide where do we go, how do we react, how do we respond to things, um, where do we donate our money, what events do we support and visit, how do we vote, how do we behave towards each other, with hate or with some compassion and sympathy. It's all very, very personal decisions, and we are creating the reality for ourselves and for others. There is a collective responsibility also. Like there is also personal karma, personal life, personal decisions. And let's also remember that our decisions are influencing our family, our co-workers, our employees, if we have a business, our community, our town, our country, our planet. We are all connected. And we cannot know what exactly will happen with the world later. And we often have a tendency to do two things, or to make it too positive, to imagine it too positive, unicorns and rainbows and perfect society of the future, or we can go to very dark imagination and imagine like very disturbing and very like dangerous prediction of the future. And what can we can do? We can just write your worry, write it down. Like, I'm worried that in the future this and this and this will happen. I'm worried that, and write it down. And then think and also write it down. What are at least two, better more, but at least two other ways that it could like turn out? What are the other options of reality that can happen? What can be not as you imagine it, for the good and for the bad? It gives us a feeling like to put things in a perspective and to think that things can be very different from what I imagine, for the good and for the bad. I do not know where the world will go, and I don't want to be anxious or over hopeful about the future. I will focus on the present moment, and I will do everything in my power to make this future more balanced, safe, sane, filled with kindness, with compassion, and with good creative things that create and not destroy. But I remember that I cannot know for sure what will be. I'm focusing on here and now, and I'm not letting my imagination to take me too far and to be anxious. So it's a little different live stream from what I usually have, but I hope that it was insightful and helpful. It was a little spontaneous, so sorry if I repeated myself somewhere, but I hope it helps, and I would love to hear your comments. And I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful week, successful, creative, and I will see you in my next live stream or video. Please subscribe to my The Person of Spirit YouTube channel if you're not subscribed yet. And bye bye.